Football Dad's Army, so loads more transfer speculation circulating around this defensive midfield position for Arsenal, or central midfield position for Arsenal, amid rumours that Thomas Partey is going to be leaving the club. I mean, it's nothing set in stone yet, nothing is guaranteed, but apparently Thomas Partey will be leaving the club. Sambi Lokonga will be leaving the club. Apparently, we don't know. Nothing's set in stone. I'm not so sure if they actually are going to leave. But who we know for sure is going to leave is Mohamed El Neni at the end of his contract. It won't be renewed. I've heard these rumours for the last couple of months that he's not going to be having his contracts renewed. So, without any further ado, the rumour that won't go away. Oh, let me tell you this as well. What I'm very proud about is Ethan Nwaneri has been promoted to the first team. And he's played very well tonight in that under-17s Euro tournament against Italy, scoring a blinding left-footed goal. Unfortunately, they go out on penalties, but he scored a blinding penalty in all of his left foot. What a player he's going to be. He was playing like, I'm not so sure, they said he's a midfield player in the youth ranks, but for England, he was playing basically up front. He was playing out on the right, cutting in on his left. He had a decent game, but, you know, is he ready for first team action in the Premier League? Maybe not quite, but he's a serious talent, a generational talent there, waiting to explode into the Premier League. And that's, you know, now he's signed a full-time contract. He's been promoted to the first team. So we might see a lot more of him next season. Hopefully, you never know. He's the first youth player to be promoted into the first team squad since Saka and Smith-Rowe. Smith-Rowe, I'm gutted for him. I'm gutted that he's not going to be. He hasn't been involved this season. I've only made like 5 or 6 appearances, I think, in recent times, and I'm gutted for him. I think he's a brilliant player, and I'm not sure why he's not cutting it with Arteta at the moment. But anyway, let's move on. The one that won't go away, before I started going on about Ethan Nwaneri and Smith-Rowe, etc., the one that won't go away is Newcastle's Bruno Guimaraes. You know, last season he played all but one of the every Premier League games. Like, he played 37 games and he started all 37 of the games he played. He started them all. He played for an average of 88 minutes a game with 7 goals and 8 assists. You know, right-footed, he's 6 foot Brazilian. He's 26 years old. Defensive midfield player or central midfield player. He can play the 6 or the 8. So same as Declan Rice, can play the 6 or the 8. He's good at pressing high. He's a playmaker. He's great at positioning. I think it would be a fantastic acquisition. He's got 20 caps. I think he's only got 1 goal. I think he got his first cap back in 2020. But 20 caps, you know, it's good going for a Brazilian player. You know how good Brazilians are. He's worth around the 75 million mark. This is according to Sofa Scores. He's worth about that. But I do believe there's an £100 million buyout clause in his contracts, and I think it's 80 million to anywhere in Europe, apart from like outside of England. So outside the Premier League, so it's 80 million, but to anyone in the Premier League, it's 100 million. And you know, that's a lot of money. Arsenal, although they're going to be offloading a few players, they might be able to raise that's maybe half, 2/3 of that money, maybe by player sales this summer. Would you want to spend that sort of money on Bruno Guimaraes? We know this player is, you know, he's Premier League ready, and he's a little bit of a cheeky git, isn't he? He's like one of them midfielders that's a master of the dark arts, like a little bit of this, a little bit like Roy Keane, Patrick Vieira, a little bit, you know, could do that. You know he can, and to me, I would love to sign him. I really would. I know I spoke yesterday about Amadou Onana, a player that's Premier League ready as well. Little bit younger, about 22, I believe he is. You know, Belgian, good player as well. Good defensive midfielder, good at winning the ball back. Press resistant as well, can occupy and sport when he's getting pressured. He can keep the ball and spray it, or you know, he don't succumb to the pressure. He don't panic. He's a good player as well, but I don't think Arsenal are looking at him at the moment. I'm just talking about players that apparently Arsenal are looking at. And top of that list, and the one that won't go away, is Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle. Another player that's been that Arsenal have been looking at, apparently, as I'm saying apparently, because this is just what I'm seeing. I don't know how credible these outlets are that I'm getting this information from. It's mainly YouTube and like some Facebook, like some articles and stuff. But a player that, you know, I'm not, I haven't seen much of, but another right-footed player. He's not quite 6 foot tall, whereas Bruno Guimaraes is 6 foot. He's 25 defensive midfielder, but he is just a 6, really, this player. Martin Zubimendi, he's not the sort of player to get forward a lot. Not really a playmaker, but press resistant as well. He is press resistant, very good defensively, good at winning the ball back. He plays for Real Sociedad. He's always played for them since he was young. I think he was playing for the under-19s and he progressed through the ranks from there. He's contracted to 2027. What was Bruno Guimaraes? When's his contract run out? His contract runs out, I think, in 2028. So there's still 4 years left on Bruno Guimaraes. This is probably why he's worth a little bit more money and they want more money for him. 3 years left on Zubimendi's contract. It runs out in 2027. His value is said to be around about 45 million. Good value for money there. If you can get him for 45, 50 million, I think that would be a bargain. He's played 31 games this season in La Liga. Started 29 of them. Averages about 88 minutes, 86 minutes per game as well. So he is a consistent player for Real Sociedad, and he he don't get subbed that often. So that's another one that's been heavily linked with Arsenal, apparently. But there's loads of outlets are saying it about Martin Zubimendi. But this has been going on for a couple of years as well, don't forget. Because Arsenal have been linked to him a few times. In the last 2 or 3 windows, Arsenal have been linked to Martin Zubimendi. So, maybe this is the time for us to strike while the iron's hot. And as well, let me tell you this as well. Another player that Arsenal have been linked with, Monaco's Youssouf Fofana. Now, Youssouf Fofana is probably valued a little bit less than that as well, around about the 26 to 30 million value. So Arsenal could sign a Martin Zubimendi and a Youssouf Fofana for the same money is what Newcastle are asking for Bruno Guimaraes. Another right-footed player, 6 foot, 25 years old. He can play the 6 or the 8 as well, so that might be something to look at. Getting Youssouf Fofana to play or cover for the 8 and 6, and Zubimendi the 6. It does. For me, it does. It makes a lot of sense if we can get both them players. I mean, he's still quite young. I think he's about 20. Is he 25? I think he says 25. Another big, tall 6 footer. He plays for Monaco. Monaco got him for 13.4 million from RC Strasbourg back in 2018. He is contracted. 1 year left on his contract. His contract runs out in 2025. So, could be a great find, great buy, I should say. And he's got 17 caps with 3 goals for France. So, What would you say about that? Would you say it's worth Fofana and Zubimendi? To me, like, I've done a little bit of research on these players after I'm seeing these links, and do you know what? I think it'd be worth Bruno Guimaraes. Yeah, I'd love if they're going to sign him, sign him. But wouldn't you like to sign two for the price of one? Zubimendi and Yusuf Fofana, two players, 6'8". Well, sorry, I should say Zubimendi. He's not really an attacking force. He's not. He can't really. Not really good at getting the high press and the playmaking like Fofana and Guimaraes. But having them two, Zubimendi and Fofana, backing up Declan Rice, and I think Jorginho is going to stay. Ethan Emmanuel, midfielder, young player. You know, them two players, I think, could really boost our midfield. Maybe all three, that'd be a 200 million spend, but then there wouldn't be a lot left for the striking options, who I'm going to talk about in another video. What I'm going to look about and see. Ollie Watkins is the guy I really, really want, though. But I'm going to look into and compare Isaacs and a few other players there. Ivan Toney, I don't want him no more. No, there's another name that just pops into my head. No, not for me. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Would you like to sign Bruno Guimaraes? Would you go for the Zubimendi and Fofana for the same money as what you could sign Guimaraes for? I'd love to know what you think about that. So you can like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back soon.